Hello everyone, this is Samiran Methi, Senior Lecturer in Praveen Patil Polytechnic. As you know, I have started with the course on ACN, which is a 5th semester subject for CO and IF branch. I hope you guys have already watched my two videos on the first chapter. Now I have come with the second chapter of ACN, that is Next Generation IP. So if you remember, in the first chapter we have came across IPv4. Now here we will deal with IPv6. So here, after watching this video, the learners will be able to understand IPv6 address with the notations, address space with their types, transition from IPv4 to IPv6, IPv6 packet format, and finally difference between IPv4 and IPv6. So starting with the first part of second chapter, we have IPv6 address. In case if you remember, IPv4 address was of 32 bit. So here IPv6 address is of 28 bits or 16 bytes. So obviously the length is 4 times the length of IPv4. Sorry, IPv4 we also had notations or how to represent or how to write those IPv4 addresses. In a similar fashion, we have notations for IPv6 as well. So starting with dotted decimal. It is used for IPv4 compatibility, but it is rarely used. When situation has arrived to use dotted decimal for both IPv4 and IPv6 at the same time, then only this notation is used. Having said that, but rarely such instances occurs. The second notation is colon hexadecimal. As you can see in the given example, it is used to make the address more readable. In this notation, the 128 bits are divided into 8 sections, as you can see in the given example. This is the most preferred way of notation as far as IPv6 is concerned. Kindly comment which is the most preferred notation for IPv4. Coming to the next notation of IPv6, we have mixed representation. Here it is a combination of dotted and colon and hexadecimal notations, as you can see in the given example. Again, it is also rarely used like dotted decimal for IPv6. Coming to CIDR notation, as you can see, the original address has FDEC 0000BBF0 F. Now it can be reduced. Now how it can be reduced, for that we have to see the next topic, abbreviation of hexadecimal. It is a technique to reduce the length of IPv6 address. It is done by removing the leading zeros of a section. Obviously only the leading zeros can be dropped. For example, 76 has leading zero as 076. Even in case if you remove the leading zero of 076, it finally becomes 76. So 076 and 76 both are same. But in case 760 is the number, and if you want the trailing 0 to be removed, that means 760 will now become 76. So obviously it won't serve the purpose. So zero compression, in the given example we have FDEC 0074 000 B0FF 000 FFF 0. So in the second last row, if you could see, 0074 has become 74, 000 has become single zero, B0FF, and finally 000 has again become 0 and FFF 0. There is one more constraint to this technique. The consecutive zeros can be eliminated as well. So if you could see, FDEC 74000 has been eliminated in the last row, B0FF, but the second last zero has not been eliminated, because if you remember, only the consecutive zeros can be eliminated and not single zero. So in this way we could compress our IPv6 address. So coming to CIDR notation, CIDR stands for classless interdomain routing, which is a method for allocating IP addresses and for IP routing. So it serves twin purposes. It allocates IP address as well as for IP routing. If you remember, classful addressing in IPv4 there were 5 classes, that is class A to class E. But the disadvantage for the same was number of addresses were decreasing from class A to class E. Hence, to address the so-called problem, classless interdomain routing is used. CIDR also serves routing problems which deals with efficient path of packet from source to destination. So routing is all about going for the efficient path, because there are more than one path to reach from source to destination, but routing is all about selecting efficient path. Here in the example of CIDR, you could see 60 is used as a prefix which refers to how many bits are contained in the network. If you remember, IP addresses consist of two parts, host ID and network ID. So here 60 is used as a prefix which tells the number of bits allocated for network part is 60 and the remaining 68 bits is used for host ID. I hope the points are clear. In case of doubts, you could post a comment. I will definitely help you with the same. Coming to address spaces, there are 4 types of address spaces as far as IPv6 is concerned. Unicast address is first of them. Unicast means one-to-one. In the given example, you could see A sender is sending a packet to sender B, that is one-to-one, nothing more than that. Unicast address, you have to draw this diagram and you have to explain the points as far as unicast is concerned. Coming to multicast address, so like unicast was one-to-one, multicast is one-to-many. So in the above example, you could see A sender is sending a packet to both B and C. So obviously it is one-to-many, and this is how multicast works. I hope the points are clear. Coming to anycast address. Now anycast address is an address that can be assigned to more than one devices. I hope the point is clear. Anycast address is an address that can be assigned to more than one devices. In other words, multiple devices can have the same anycast address. So for example, sender A wants to send a packet to any of the 4 devices for a saying, and these 4 devices have the same anycast address. Fine, I hope the point is clear. So a packet sent to any anycast address among these 4 devices is routed or sent to the nearest device having the anycast address. I hope the point is clear. For example, 4 devices have same anycast address. Fine, they are eligible to receive a packet from sender A, but among those 4 devices, the one which is the nearest, sender A will send the packet to that nearest device. So anycast address is used when time constraint is a concern. I hope the points are clear. Finally, coming to broadcasting and multicasting, there are no broadcast addresses at all in IPv6. Even directed broadcasts are not there, which were favorites of IPv4 hackers. In IPv6, multicast addresses serve the same purpose as broadcast do in IPv4. I hope the point is clear. Multicasting addresses serve the same purpose as broadcast used to do in IPv4. So the point is, there are no broadcast addresses as far as IPv6 is concerned. That purpose is being managed by multicast IPv6 addresses. I hope the point is clear. So coming to the last topic of this part, and this chapter 2 of ACN will comprise of 3 parts. This is the first part. Fine. Coming to address space allocation, so in case if they are asking address space allocation, you are supposed to draw this diagram and explain this diagram. Address space allocation in IPv6 is a process which divides the address space of IPv6 in several blocks, as you can see in the diagram. Each block is allocated for some special purpose and has a different size. For example, it has reserved, it has global, it has unicast address, and so on. Each block is allocated for some special purpose and has a different size. Most of the blocks in IPv6 are not assigned yet and will be used in future. Let me tell you students, only 10% of IPv6 has been used till date. So obviously most of the blocks in IPv6 are not assigned yet and will be used in future. The address space in IPv6 has been divided into 8 equal ranges. As you can see in the diagram, the first reserved has been assigned. The next part or block global is assigned for unicast addresses. Then majority of the reserved part have not been used, and the last reserved part have been assigned. So in case they are asking address space allocation, you are supposed to draw this diagram and explain such points. I hope all the points that I covered in this video is clear. In case of any doubts, post a comment. I'll surely help you. Thank you for watching the video. Take care. Bye.